Good evening, friends. I'm Malik. I welcome you all for the launch of my friend and former colleague Jitendra Dixit's new book, Bombay After Ayodhya, a City in Flux. Before we move ahead, I will briefly introduce you to the dignitaries on the dais. We are delighted to have Mr. M.N. Singh with us today. Mr. Singh is a former police commissioner of Mumbai and retired as Director General of Police in 2002. During his 4-decade-long career as an IPS officer, Mr. Singh has served in different parts of Maharashtra in different ranks and has handled various challenges in his policing career. I believe the biggest challenge for him was the investigation of 1993 serial blast case, which rocked the city of Mumbai and killed over 250 people and injured more than 750. He was the head of the investigating team which unearthed the whole conspiracy. It was during his tenure as the Joint Commissioner of Mumbai Crime Branch that name of a famous film star cropped up in the case. But without succumbing to any pressure, he arrested him under TADA and Arms Act. His watertight investigation led to the actor's conviction and he was sentenced to a jail term of 6 years. Mr. Singh had to face a new set of challenges when he became the police commissioner of Mumbai in the year 2000. After assuming the hot seat, Mr. Singh made it very clear that his priority was to finish underworld, and the policies he adopted showed results in the later years. As Mumbai's police chief, he had to deal with violent conflict among political parties in 2001. Under his charge, Shiv Sena Supremo Balasaheb Thackeray was arrested in July 2000. The city was quite tense and it was feared that there would be a large-scale violence. But Mr. Singh handled the situation so skillfully and kept the city peaceful. Even 20 years after his retirement, Mr. Singh is remembered for his no-nonsense attitude, for his tough approach to a problem and his leadership qualities. We are privileged to have you, sir, here, and I request Vishal Singh, President of Mumbai Crime Reporters Association, to welcome Mr. Singh with a bouquet. Thank you so very much for extracting time out of your busy schedule. So moving on, we are delighted to have Mr. Rajiv Khandekar with us. Shri Khandekar is editor of National Hindi News Channel ABP News and Marathi News Channel ABP Majha. During his career of over 3 decades, Khandekar ji has earned a wide journalistic experience at the national and state level. For several years, he has reported from Delhi and has worked for many reputed print publications. Shri Khandekar forayed into TV journalism with ETV Marathi as its bureau chief and supervised the coverage in Mumbai. Since 2007, he has been associated with ABP News Network and has been the editorial head of its Marathi channel ABP Majha. As editor of ABP Majha, Shri Khandekar did many experiments and encouraged bold and fearless journalism. He has mentored many journalists who have rose to become popular anchors and editors at various news organizations. His talk show, Maza Katta, is very popular and my favorite too, where many politicians, actors and celebrities speak their heart out. So now I request Ganesh Thakur, political editor ABP News, to welcome him with a bouquet. you so much, Rajiv ji. We are happy to have Mr. Anish Chandi with us. He is literary representative of Jitendra Dixit's book, Bombay After Ayodhya. Mr. Chandi is the founder of Labyrinth Literacy Agency, which represents authors across books, film and audio. He was head of business development at Juggernaut Books and a senior commissioning editor at Penguin Random House. Mr. Chandi is the topmost literary representative in India, and several successful book titles in the last decade have been represented by him. Now I request Lata Sharma, journalist from ABP News, to welcome Mr. Chandi with a bouquet. And last but not the least, author and journalist Jitendra Dixit is here. Now I would like to ask him to be here with me and say whatever he feels like.
I'll request Mr. Mayuresh to welcome our host Sharad Malik. She has been hosting my book launches earlier. This is her third book launch. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks. So Jitendra was born and brought up in Mumbai and is a dear friend of mine. He started his journalistic career with an eveninger, Dopeher Ka Samna, in 1996. Later years, he became a TV journalist and worked for news channels like Aaj Tak and Star News, which is now known as ABP News. During his 2.5 decades long journalistic career, Jitendra has covered major national and international events and has reported from several countries across the world. Jitendra has been a successful author as well, that's why we are here. And in the last 14 years, he has written 6 books in Hindi and English languages. Bombay After Ayodhya is his 4th book in English. Now I would like to request journalist Krishna Thakur to welcome our author, journalist friend Jitendra with a bouquet. And now I will request dignitaries on the dais to release Jitendra Dixit's book, Bombay After Ayodhya.
Mobile.
Now I would like to invite Mr. Anish Chandi, founder of Labyrinth Literary Agency, to share his views about Bombay After Ayodhya.
Thank you, Sharad. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I just thought I'll give a brief introduction to the origin story of this book, and then let the rest of the dignitaries talk about the book and Jitendra. So I run a company called Labyrinth, which represents top writing talent across books, movie production, audio, any format where storytelling happens. So the story of Bombay After Ayodhya actually started a few years ago when Jitendra, Dhaval Kulkarni was sitting there and we went for a walk, a post-midnight walk in Jitendra's old childhood neighborhood of the Nagpara Dongri area. And he had so many stories, and this walk, I think we started at 1 a.m. and it ended at 3 a.m. and he had so many stories for every nook and corner, you know. I felt like I was in a real life movie. And then after some time, he came up with this idea that, hey, should I write a book which sort of chronicles the changes in the city and the city post the riots. And I thought that was such a smart idea because he knows the city really well. So what this book is, it is actually a distillation of his 2+ decade reporting career, where he covers the riots, what happened after the riots, what happened, what did he see, then the cops, the gangsters, Bollywood, politicians, and the average Mumbaiker, you know. So I just hope, you know, all of you all enjoy reading this book as much as we enjoyed bringing this out. Thank you so much.
That's a way too crisp. Thank you so much, Mr. Anish. You have shared a very interesting description of the book and its author. Now, I would like to invite Jitendra Dixit to briefly tell us about his book, Bombay After Ayodhya, what it is all about and what exactly inspired him to write this book. Walk करने के साथ साथ और क्या-क्या आपके दिमाग में आता था?
Thank you, Charul. Honorable M.N. Singh ji, respected Rajiv ji, dear Anish, and my dear friends, good evening to all. I am delighted to see two dignitaries here who have seen me grow as a journalist. When I was a junior crime reporter, Mr. Singh was the police commissioner of Mumbai. Rajiv ji was bureau chief of ETV Marathi at that time. Although we worked for different news channels, we knew each other. I am fortunate that they have agreed to be part of this important event in my writing journey. I am also happy to see that Mr. Anish Chandi of Liberal Literary Agency is also here. He has travelled all the way from Delhi to be part of this event. Mr. Chandi is representing my work and he has played a role in each and every step in the process of publishing this book, right from revising the first draft to its title and choosing the cover page. I can see many of my friends, Umesh is here, well-wishers and book enthusiasts in the audience, and I am thankful to you all for taking out time and being here. Sahil, Mayur, Jain Saab, Iqbal Bhai, and so many people who have been my friends for a long time, who have been my well-wishers. Thank you all for coming and joining this event. Now about the book. The idea of this book germinated while I was reading a few books on Kashmir a few years back. And in some of the books written in the first person, the authors narrated how they grew up seeing the bloodshed in their neighborhood. They described how militancy emerged in the Kashmir and led to a gun culture in the valley. They witnessed and experienced the change. I don't find myself different from them. I see parallels between 90s of Kashmir and the 90s of Mumbai. The decade of the 90s was turbulent for both the places. I was born and brought up in the Masjid Bandar area of South Mumbai, which is hardly a kilometer away from here. Like those authors, I too grew up witnessing bloodshed in the streets of Mumbai resulting from the communal riots, gang wars and terrorist attacks. In the 1990s, when there was a gun culture in Kashmir, there was a gun culture in Bombay as well. There were daily killings and shootouts in the valley, and the same was happening in Mumbai as well. At both the places, youngsters picked up the gun. The only difference was that in Kashmir, the violence was based on ideological grounds and separatism. In Mumbai, it was for money and rivalry among the gangs. Mr. M.N. Singh will be able to throw more light on it. Especially the events triggered after the demolition of the Babri Mosque in Ayodhya have transformed Mumbai. The transformation has affected all the spheres of the city, including its underworld, politics, policing, social fabric, real estate and so on. As a Mumbai boy and as a journalist, I have witnessed this transformation, and this anecdotal book chronicles that change. This book is not just my memoir. I have done a good amount of legwork as well and met scores of people and have to spend most of my post-office hours and weekly offs for doing research. The book not just chronicles the riots and its aftermath, but also delves into various aspects of life in the city, like how the policy of liberalization or globalization manifested in Mumbai, how the stock market produces heroes and villains, how Mumbai's festivals have changed, how Mumbai's skyline and landscape have transformed, and how Bollywood is much different today than it was 3 decades ago. For those who are born and brought up in Mumbai or have lived in the city in the 90s, reading this book will be like a time travel. Some of you may find a few untold stories of those times. The reason for writing this book is to keep the bitter memories of the past alive and pass it on to the next generation. If we learn lessons from the mistakes of history, I believe we are less likely to repeat them. Also, I have been a TV journalist for over 2 decades. For me, writing non-fiction books is an extension of my journalism. TV is a very dynamic medium, but it still has certain limitations, and I feel there are certain subjects that need a book to get justice. I hope you will read the book and find it valuable. I'll be eagerly awaiting for your feedback and reviews. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Jitendra. I love the energy levels. And एक बात और जो समझ में आई है वो ये है कि ये काफी बदले हुए हैं ओवर द इयर्स और इन्होंने वॉक बहुत की है और इनकी पूरी टीम वॉक करती है आजकल एंड आई एम श्योर बहुत सारे और बुक्स हमें देखने को बहुत जल्द मिलने वाली हैं क्योंकि सब वॉक करते करते ही आइडियाज के बारे में सोचते हैं और फोन पे ये लोग स्क्रिप्ट लिखते हैं. Thank you, Jitendra. I have been a witness of your writing journey, and after listening to you, I'm sure that the book will be surely interesting and valuable for all of us. Now, I would like to invite one of the prime speakers of the evening, Mr. M.N. Singh, to share insights about his experiences of policing in Mumbai and a few anecdotes of the incidents which he handled as the police commissioner of Mumbai, which are included in Bombay after Ayodhya.
Good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Khandekar, Mr. Chande, and the young lady who has introduced the whole thing. I'm really amazed. She started her career as a journalist, and then I think she is acting in the films nowadays. And the author of the book, and Jitendra Dixit. Ladies and gentlemen, I retired good 20 years ago, and now to go back down the memory lane, talking about all those things, is not a very pleasant thing to do. But I know people want to hear all those things. Even today, there were 2 journalists and some author who were after me, asking me to talk about Dawood Ibrahim and the gang and this and that. And with folded hand, I said, you please excuse me. I moved on in my life. I don't talk about crime and criminals these days. You see, that's no longer a matter of my interest. But then when I was in the chair dealing with the problem, I had no option to deal with it, and not only to deal with it, but to fight with it. And that is what Jitendra Dixit. But before I start talking about those policing issues, I would like to first compliment Jitendra Dixit. He has written 5 or 6 books. I am surprised he is so young. You know, this is the 4th book you said in English and 2 in Hindi. He is in early 40s. So, congratulations. And I am told that one of your books has already gone for reprint. So that's a phenomenal. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. I remember Dixit. He first met me when I was police commissioner, and he came as a young child. He still looks childish, though not be. He doesn't behave like a child, and not childish in his behavior. He is a very mature person, but he still has that young boyish look. You know, and then whenever he will come and he will confront me, he will ask me straight questions. He was not at all, you know, and I used to marvel at this young boy. I say he seems to be very daring, very bold. Yeah? As I remember, there are few occasions, few episodes where I met. So he gave me that, and I remember that. His bold nature, his total lack of inhibition, fear of authorities, nothing other kind. So that thing has got imprinted in my mind, and I still remember it. So whenever he calls, I know it is the same boy. That's one. Second, you see, when I was reading his book, I came across that he was born in 1979. And I had just now asked him in which month you were born. He said in July 1979. I came to Bombay city as Deputy Commissioner in February 79. So he was born after I had taken over here as Deputy Commissioner of Police. He is that young, you know. Now, and then he has done so well. I'm told he has gone abroad, covered tsunami in Japan and so many other foreign places. It is a very successful career, and I must congratulate you, and I wish you all the best. You have a long way to go still, and I'm sure you will do very well in future. Now, the second thing while going through his book I found, you know, he ran into a riotous mob as a 10-year-old child. When in February 1989, after that Salman Rushdie's book ban, the agitated Muslims took out a morcha, and it was quite an emotive issue, and therefore there was a lot of temperament and all that. As a 10-year-old child, he was walking with the crowd, and he got pushed and fell down. And then one Muslim gentleman came to him and said, "Do you want to die? What are you doing here?" He picked him up and took him to his office and saved his life. That is Bombay. A Muslim gentleman, the crowd was entirely Muslim, agitated Muslim crowd. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty and history of that, but issue was Salman Rushdie's book. He picked him up, took him to his office, looked after him, and that resulted in firing in which 11 people were killed and many were injured. And then another Muslim gentleman called Anwar took him by his hand and dropped him home. In that tense situation, I don't know where has all this kindness and goodness disappeared. I still believe that Mumbai is a beautiful place, but that kindness and goodness is there. He was saved by a Muslim gentleman, he was dropped home by a Muslim gentleman. They knew he is a Hindu. And he started education in a Muslim school. Am I right? He started studying his schooling in a Muslim school. And then he says in that Muslim school, most of the teachers were Hindus. That is called Mumbai-based. This is Mumbai. I don't know why things should have gone so bad in Mumbai. In fact, it is a matter of my research. Ayodhya happens thousands of kilometers or miles away, and Mumbai suffers the most. Why? Have any one of you people ever thought about it? Now, these are the matters. Mumbai, there may have been some riots here and there and all that, but by and large, people have to exist together because they need each other's help in their day-to-day life, in their business, in their career. And that is how people have no time here for all these conflicts and all that. But how is that? The conflict is most pronounced in Mumbai city. This is a matter which needs to be researched. And I'll be very happy and grateful indeed if some of you have any ideas and come and tell me why Mumbai boiled after Babri Masjid was. I understand Muslims were angry. They reacted. That is what the Justice Krishna Commission Committee also said. There was an angry, emotional outburst. It is understandable. But why Mumbai suffered so much? 2 phases of riots in which hundreds died, followed by the serial bomb blast in which many more hundred died. And the problem did not stop there. it continued. Mumbai city is the only city which has suffered more than 14 terrorist attacks since 1993. Big and small. And most of them were very big. 93 was very big, in which more than 257 people died and 700 people got injured. Then the train blast of 2006, June 2006, am I right? You have made a mention? Yes. In which also nearly 200 people died. Then of course 26/11, in which nearly 200 people died. And then I retired 31st December 2002. And soon thereafter, in 2003, beginning March till May, there were a series of 6 blasts here there in which about 60-70 people died. It's a matter which needs to engage attention of every thinking person. How come a thing which has its origin elsewhere, Mumbai suffers most? I would not like to go into it here in a public debate because that might unnecessarily create misunderstanding. But this is a matter which needs to be examined, which needs to be studied, and many of you, I see in the audience Mr. Atikur Rahman sitting here, whom I often see on television debates, and a very sensible debater, to research this and find out as to why it is happening in Mumbai. Luckily, after 2011, there has been no terrorist attack. 2011 was a bad year, in which there were three terrorist attacks. After 2011, things have been quiet, not only in Mumbai but elsewhere in the country also, except in the border areas. 2008 was the worst year. Now that is a matter which needs to be examined, and if you can find an answer to that, then something can be done to see whatever be the positive factors, whatever be the reasons for these conflicts in Mumbai city. Mumbai city is a city of working people. People have no time here to get involved into conflict. Every day you have to earn to make a living. And therefore that is why they need each other's help and cooperation. So, if you find it, if we are able to find the reason, and then we can probably think of also finding a solution as to what needs to be done. If there is any misgivings, misunderstandings, or if there is a need to involve the community leaders, then that can be done. In fact, I'll be interested in taking an initiative in this if we are able to find the reason. Now, coming to the book per se, I think Jitendra has covered the entire canvas. There is nothing that he has left. Coming right to the end of this, even that film actor, Sushant Singh Rajput, उसको भी आपने लिख दिया है. And what is the last one? You have covered many things. Antilia case also here. Now Antilia case and all that, I don't think we need to discuss those things. The title of the book is Bombay after Ayodhya. I happened to be in the police when the 92-93 riots. I came soon after that. The riots ended and I came in February 93. And very next month, a lot of changes were there. Mr. Pawar was Commissioner of Police, he was changed. Joint Commissioner R.D. Tyagi was changed. I came in his place. I came in February and in March the blast took place. Now blast investigation, we all know what all happened. And in fact, somebody mentioned about some film actor who got arrested. That is a side matter. In fact, I still marvel how this man got involved in this kind of a thing. That is what amazes me, So let us not talk about that any individual. If you talk about any individual, it can become, unnecessary creative. That's a history. That's gone matter. Let's forget about it. Now, there are many issues. When I came as Bombay Police Commissioner in May 2000, as you all know, some of the people who are of my time are still here. Bombay streets were red with blood. I remember in 1999, and 101 people had been killed by the underworld in the streets of Bombay. 100 people being shot in 1 year. And one gentleman, you have made a mention, Maharashtra, was shot dead right in front of the gate of the police commissioner's office. He came out of the Rupam store. He came out and went to take a call or make a call from the public call. And the fellows were probably waiting for him, and he was gunned down. Can you believe anything more serious than this? That at the gate of the police commissioner's office, a person is being shot dead. That was the situation. How many people were killed? A member of parliament, Datta Samant, was killed. So many MLAs were killed. MLAs. So many corporators were killed. So many people associated with the film industry were killed and shot. Gulshan Kumar, music man, he was killed. One Rai was there who was shot, he was injured. Then he died. Manisha Koirala's secretary was shot dead in his office. And they went for Manisha Koirala, but he was there, so he was shot. So many people. And the film industry threatened that we will go away from Bombay. We are not safe, so we will move to some other location. And the government of Maharashtra called a meeting. I was at that time DG Anti-Corruption Bureau, I was also there. So this was the situation. And it's not that the officers were not doing anything. Officers were trying their best. In fact, in 1999, the Maharashtra government enacted a new law called the MAPOCA Act, Maharashtra Prevention of Organized Crime Act, 1999. And MPD Act was also there, where lots of detentions could be done. And so action was there. So when I came there, the first thing the media was asked, what's your priority? And I said, I have been brought here to deal with these fellows. And that's my priority. Luckily, by the time I went, things were under control. I could say with some satisfaction, things were better. And I'm very happy that till this date, things are peaceful. Bombay is a city. Bombay is a city of business. Bombay is a port city. And organized crime is an integral part of all port cities and all big cities. So, organized crime, underworld will be there always. Don't expect that there will be zero this thing. But then as long as there is a fear of law and people feel safe, I always used to say, Mumbai is a very safe place. I see people on the Marine Drive and on the Valli Sea face, young girls and boys walking together till 1 o'clock in the night and 2 o'clock in the night. My own son, when he came from America, and my daughter-in-law, they were walking at 2 o'clock at the Valli Sea face. They never had any problem. But the other day I read in the paper, Bombay has become very unsafe. Girls are not safe. In fact, girls are most safe in Bombay city. Unlike many other cities, including the capital of the country. Bombay has been very safe. I think you can vouch for it. Because that kind of a mental, this thing is not there. But when I read in the newspaper that Bombay has become unsafe for girls, I felt very, very sorry for it. And actually that is a little exaggeration. In fact, the media also, I would request that while reporting these things, don't say Bombay has gone out of hand, Bombay has gone out of hand. And I may tell even my friend Jitendra Dixit, 1 or 2 comments about the police that you have made in your book could have been better avoided. I would not say what are those comments, but they are not.
People will read it. People will anyway.
I tell you, if you have a specific example, like, should I say the details? Should I mention? His grandfather, some gunda came and ate some vada pav, and then his grandfather was a palwan, so he thrashed him. And he said he reported the police and heavily bribed the police to take good action. Good action. He said, no, I thought that was uncharitable. Then he has also commented at one place that many people want to, all IPS officers want to become the police commissioner of Bombay because it's the most powerful and most prosperous. May I advise you, when you write a book, you don't write like this. You may have your personal experience, but you have made a comment about the position of the police commissioner. You can say XYZ had a bad reputation. Nothing beyond that. But to say that the people want to become, because people become very prosperous, I think that is not the fact also. Let me tell you, Bombay Police Commissioner's chair has been decorated by many distinguished police officers who will be remembered for many years to come. In fact, not only Commissioner of Police, in the crime branch of Bombay Police, there have been many police officers who are still remembered. Alex Fialo, Shinde, and Madhukar Shinde, all these fellows, they are still remembered. Crime branch has a tremendous reputation, and I was very proud that I was Joint Commissioner heading the crime branch. That apart, he has covered so many things, I don't know what all to say and what not to say. But the thing is, the challenge of the underworld will always remain, more or less, because Bombay city is a port city, is a city of business. Wherever there is trade, business, national, international, underworld and organized crime will be a part of it, a part of our social life. Because organized crime is an integral part of urban life, industrial center. So don't say that it will be not there. But when it comes to Dawood Ibrahim, taking name again, I would have liked to why. Why Dawood Ibrahim became so powerful? Why did he become such a dangerous fellow? Dawood Ibrahim was the son of a police havaldar. You all know that. Now, this fellow started his career as a small, in the Manish market and in that area, they used to sell duplicate things and make money. And on the road, they used to indulge in some petty robberies and things like that. He was a petty criminal to begin with. He came into conflict with the Pathan gang, and then when it became very difficult, he ran away from the country. It was okay, he ran away from the country. How did he become so powerful? I think because somewhere the society gave him a lot of recognition. I would not like to name, but many people, politicians, builders, film people in the film industry, and others gave him a lot of respect. For what reason? Some people maybe out of fear, some people maybe they wanted to take his help. Various things, politicians take help of the underworld because they have a good hold over a certain vote bank, or the businessmen, builders, they take their help, whatever reason. And when you give so much importance or social recognition to a criminal, then he overtakes. And I would not like to say or name anything what happened in '93 when the serial bomb blast took place, but he became such a dangerous person. So if you hobnob with the criminal elements, if you hobnob with the underworld, the gangsters, and you give him a sense of respectability, then he overtakes everything, and then it becomes very difficult. It took very strong methods and a lot of time for the police to control the things. In fact, whether he has come under control, we can't say because he is still. But at least his foot soldiers, etc., who are there in the Bombay city, that we have taken care of that, and that is not there. So soldiers are not there. But the leader is still sitting there and doing something. So he continues to be on the watch list. So what happens if people give recognition to criminal elements for various reasons, then he becomes a demon and he becomes a big threat to everybody. And then later on you see what happens, we all know. So it is very unfortunate that Dawood Ibrahim, when people go, and Dawood Ibrahim, I used to also see him sitting in Sharjah in his own special cubicle in the cricket match, and sitting with some film stars and all this kind of thing. The city of Bombay paid a price for that kind of a respect which it accorded to a gangster. So that I hope the city has learnt a lesson and would not repeat that mistake. Some of them became members of the Legislative Assembly. Arun Gowli, I had arrested him. He became MLA. And one day when I went to attend a function at the police headquarters, I saw him coming out wearing a topi and all that. And he came and did a namaskar to me. I said, what are you doing here? So he said, sir, mala nimantran mila hai. Then I realized, yes, he is an MLA. And there is a government order that every MLA and MP must be invited to all government functions. So there was no other MLA present, but he was there at the Nagaon police headquarters. आणि टोपी घालून आणि शर्ट घालून समोर आला माझ्याकडे, नमस्कार साहेब. म्हणजे तुम्ही काय करता इकडे? ते म्हणे साहेब मला इन्व्हिटेशन मिळालं होतं, मी म्हणून आलो. It was a police function, on 21st October we have the police commemoration parade at Nagaon headquarters, when all the police officers and men who have laid down their lives on duty, in their memory a parade is held. Chief Minister comes, all senior officers come, people from the consulate corps also come. He was also there. Now what to do about this? That is not in my hand. Mr. Atikur Rahman may find some answer to this. So this is the unfortunate part of it, that a criminal can also become, and after that he again went to the jail. He is still in the jail. So I think there is so much that can be said about this, and if there are any questions, then I would prefer to answer that rather than give a lecture on this. I have only a few observations. My observation was that this city, what I call as Mumbai-based, people live in harmony. In the last few years after the Bombay Masjid demolition, or maybe I would say I will trace it to 1989. And it has something to do with the Afghan war, when the Russians were pushed out of Afghanistan, and all the Taliban forces were let loose, and Kashmir went on a boil, and the attack on Kashmiri Pandits and things like that happened, and the Pakistan got a good this thing. Pakistan follows a certain policy of 1,000 cuts. Those are matters which all of you know. I did not go into that. That would be more like a talk of history. So that is how. But I am still not able to understand why of all the places Bombay suffers most. How is that so many boys from Bombay get radicalized and go out and do something here in their own city against their own people? Why? I think the society has to find an answer. Why? This needs a little bit of thinking and research. Mr. Jitendra Dixit and his colleagues may do this research, and that will be a great service. Then this can be discussed on a much larger platform and find a solution to this. If there are any questions, if you want to know anything about me or what I did, which can be better avoided, then I'm here. Then I'm here before you to answer your questions, and I don't think I have anything more to say. I congratulate Mr. Jitendra Dixit once again for the beautiful book that he has written. He has covered a vast panorama of everything that is the underbelly in the Bombay city, right to the point of Antilia. You have not given the answer why the bomb was placed there. I would like to know who did it is known, but why he did it is still not known. You can tell. Yes, sir.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for mentioning my name twice. You have entrusted a great job to me of researching why all these things, mainly terrorism, happens in India. I don't think it's okay. I'm audible.
Thank you. Sir, what you said, I agree, what exactly goes in the underworld. But one thing what disturbs me as a researcher, Jitendra has been my student in Wilson College when we also have been discussing all these matters all along. When Gopinath Mundeji was appointed as the Home Minister, Dr. Rafiq Zakaria, and I happened to meet you at Dr. Zakaria's residence when you often visited him. I was his research assistant. So when Dr. Rafiq Zakaria invited Gopinath Mundeji in our Maharashtra college once, and it was 6th December, he was the Home Minister, and he has taken over the Home Minister's office just a couple of days back. You know what he said, sir? That when the Commissioner of Police, I don't remember who was the Commissioner at that time, when the Commissioner of Police, when he assumed the office in his chair, he asked the Commissioner of Police and various other officers how exactly we should deal with the law and order situation in Mumbai. The Commissioner of Police said to the Home Minister that if you do the least, it will be best for us.
If you do?
The least, as the Home Minister. So this highlights the pressure under which the commissioners and the policing in Mumbai goes on. Along with it, sir, as far as the underworld is concerned, my gut feeling is the nexus between the politicians and the underworld, along with other entities who work in an urban city, if that can be controlled, we can have a very marginal thing as far as law and order goes. No, we cannot not help unless and until the nexus between police, politicians, the underworld, the business is stopped. That's my.
You are very right, but I don't think it is going to happen.
That's the.
It is not easy. I told you that in this city, Dawood Ibrahim became a monster because he was given a lot of social recognition. Good people would come and meet him, hobnob with him, and we feel great being seen in company of Dawood Ibrahim. How? There was a film producer who produced a film and who became a part of the gang, and he was shot. You have written in your book. He was shot. There were many builders whom I know I would not like to name, who had kept these gangsters on their payroll for 10 years. What happened to that hotel in Bandra, where both the brothers were shot dead? Dholakia brothers. Now, politicians use the gangsters or the criminal elements because they think that they have a hold over the society. They can get votes. Now you tell me, what can the police officer do up there? Politicians also wake up only when it comes to their neck. And I told you, when the film industry threatened to walk out of Bombay city, then the government of Maharashtra called a meeting. I was present there, though I was not Commissioner of Police at that time. And the film industry people also came. They were very agitated. And they said, we will do everything. When I came in the chair, no police officer can really take the kind of action that I took unless I had the backing of the government. So what the police commissioner told Mr. Munde, you stay away and we can deal with it. But they will not stay away. You know, unfortunately in this city, why there have been so many journalists who have been killed? And in the murder of the day, a lady journalist was involved. She was arrested. She was acquitted. That is a different thing. Now, you tell me, a journalist joining hands with some gangster, businessmen joining hands with gangsters, politicians joining hands. This is something which the society has to deal with it. Police is no answer to all these problems. Let me make it very clear. Now you see, you read in the newspapers these days, every now and then, a girl is molested, a girl is raped and brutally killed. Is it really a police problem? In my opinion, no. It's a social problem. How come such an atmosphere gets generated? Where instead the other day a South Korean girl was there in Linking Road and two boys who were doing some hawking job, they took liberty with her. I can't imagine such a thing happening in Bombay city in broad daylight. Society must step in and must step in very strongly. Don't expect the police to be a solution to all the problems, the social ills. This is a social ill. Now there are so much that can be said. I don't say the police are the paragon of virtues. There are many police officers also who are involved with gangsters. I make a very open confession. There have been cases where police officers were arrested for their links with the underworld. But they also come under some kind of a feeling. It's not that there are some criminal elements who can enter into any field. And we deal with them, we deal with very, very sternly. But then, if you really want that this should not happen, then the society must sit up and think. Particularly these days, the problem that the working girls are facing all over the country is something which needs to engage the attention of the society. I call it a social problem. I call it a complete degeneration of values in our country. And the society must sit up and think and take appropriate measures. Police must do its job. Police will arrest, police will prosecute, he will remain in the court, court will release, or court will convict. That's all. But how do you change the society? I think this has to start with there are so many things which need to be done. My only thing is that a crime and a criminal must not be given any kind of a respect and social status. The moment you feel that he can be helpful or he can be a threat, and you start hobnobbing and you get into the crosshair and then you get shot. This has happened. So this is what actually is the problem. Politicians also, when it comes to when the water comes right up to their neck, I was told to deal with the problem of the underworld. And in my nearly 3 years of commissionership, I had full backing of the then government. And I must say, I had the full backing of the media also. I know there are so many encounters were there. Not one question was raised. Because everybody was so thrust. Everybody wanted that this fellow should be finished. So I had the support of the government, I had the support of the media, but we have to take care that innocent people are not harmed by the police. That is the job of the police commissioner, to keep control. Don't harm innocent people, don't harm decent people, but don't spare a criminal. A criminal who is a threat to the other persons. And it was not just encounter, but we had, like I said, Makoka Act was enacted. Maharashtra was the first state to enact that law. Then many other states followed suit and enacted similar law, anti-gangsters law. And so that came as a very good weapon. Then we had the MPDA Act, under which the police commissioner has power to detain a person for 1 year. And so all those actions, and plus of course the police did what it did, and things came under control. And I am happy that today things are much better. I don't know if this, now you see, I don't want to name, but we do hear some politician getting involved with some gangster in purchase of properties. You have the cases, ultimately they also suffer. Now if this happens, then what can the police do? But then I am thankful to the media for supporting me when I was there in the police. I am thankful to the government for supporting me and giving me full freedom to take whatever steps were necessary. And I think I retired as a very satisfied man that the city was much better in much better shape when I left the charge.
सर 1992 का जो दंगा हुआ था, उसके बाद के हालात और अभी की मुंबई की क्या है, उसमें फर्क क्या है?
1992 के जो दंगे हुए थे, उसकी जड़ तो अयोध्या में थी. अब अयोध्या का तो कोई इशू रहा नहीं. I think both the communities have reconciled, and that's not an issue anymore. Though that was the main cause of the riots, And in the riots, people suffered, and then the serial blast happened, etc., etc., etc. I don't want to justify the blast. I don't want to justify the riots. My only question is, mosque is demolished in Ayodhya, 1,000 kilometers away, and Bombay has the maximum. Why? There must be a reason. The reason is here in this city, and you must find out. And it is for the society leaders of the community to take steps to see that those elements are not encouraged. Now, there is a long history. If you see India's history, the beginning of the terrorism problem is linked with the Afghan war of 1989. Of course, there were many things happened, like Shah Banu case happened, and that Shah Banu judgment was upturned by Rajiv Gandhi. And then a lot of speech making, etc., etc., spoiled the atmosphere. And there were many riots. In 1984, Bombay had a big riot. Bombay, Bhiwandi had a big riot. In 84. Then, immediately after Shah Banu case in 86, there were riots in many places. I was sent to Marathwada, used to have a lot of riots. And then the Salman Rushdie case in 89. It happened in 88. The book was then banned. And this incident happened in Bombay city in February 89. But in 89, when the Afghan problem was resolved and Russians were pushed out and all the Talibani forces were released, their attention got diverted to Kashmir. And there the Pakistan has played a role. And that is why that Pakistan's original philosophy of 1,000 cuts, that took a big shape. And that is when the terrorist attacks started all over. Attack on Kashmiri Pandits in Kashmir, followed by riots at many places, terrorist attacks at many places. It all happened. And from 89 to 99, this problem has continued. Luckily things are better, but in 2008 again it happened. For the last 10-11 years, things are peaceful, and I hope it remains peaceful. But I will keep my fingers crossed. The society again has to do and to see that all those elements who are radicalizing the youngsters, they are taken care of. And this radicalization process stops. And there has to be an attempt to create that feeling. I mean, Bombay city, as I said, it's a city of working people. Nobody has time. Get up in the morning. This city never sleeps. So if you don't work and you close down the city, there are so many hawkers and small traders, petty traders, and so many other labor class. They will go hungry. So this is an area people live cheek by jowl. In the societies I have seen, in many of the slum areas, Hindus, Muslims, they live very peacefully. That has to be encouraged, and the society has to take a lead in this. Police will play its own part, but there is a limitation. You can't expect the police to be a solution to these problems. पॉलिटिशियंस को क्या करना है ये मैं नहीं बता सकता हूँ। पॉलिटिशियंस को क्या करना चाहिए ये तो मैं नहीं बोल सकता हूँ, क्योंकि वो जरा अलग मामला है। I leave it to the politicians to decide. But as a citizen of this, now I am not a police officer, I am nobody. I am a common man in Bombay city, and I feel concerned. So as a journalist, you have a role to play. You create a public opinion against these elements. But I am not finding that. This country has to forget about all this and get busy with the development things. There is nothing that should obsess you except development, your own career. Riots के बारे में analysis करना जो है वो Sri Krishna Commission has gone into it and given its finding. About the 93 serial bomb blast case, that's over. But then I can again say, 12 people were given death sentence and only one person was hanged. Even that also was with great difficulty and a lot of public noise. So I think the sympathy should go to the right corner and not to the wrong corner. I will not say anything more than that.
मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था कि मिस्टर बजट उसने वहाँ रखी थी, वही वो कार यूज कर रहा था, वही कार पुलिस कमिश्नर ऑफिस में थी और वही उसके साथ इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहा था। ये सारा पुलिस ने किया था, तो ये ऑर्गेनाइज क्राइम के जैसे पहले गैंगस्टर्स करते थे वैसा ये केस हुआ था। इसमें पॉलिटिकल बिल था या पुलिस का रिकवरी बिल था, ये मेरे को थोड़ा सा समझना।
देखिए, मैं तो यही कहूँगा,
एक बंदे को मार डाला,
मैं यही कहूँगा कि इससे बड़ी शर्मनाक कोई वारदात घटना मुंबई पुलिस के इतिहास में नहीं हुई और मैं आज भी शर्मिंदा महसूस करता हूँ।
पहली बात है,
एक पुलिस ऑफिसर इस हद तक जाएगा, जिस आदमी की गाड़ी आपने इस्तेमाल किया उसी को मार डाला, इससे बड़ी शर्म की बात। पुलिस वाला सदरक्षण है, खले नहीं करना है, हमारा ये है और हम उसके उल्टा काम कर रहे हैं।
उसके बाद वही पुलिस ऑफिसर जहाँ पर ये पोस्टमार्टम हो रहा था आपकी, उसके परिवार वालों के कंधे पे हाथ देके ये बोल रहा था कि मुझसे कोई तकलीफ नहीं है, उससे मैं भी वहीं खड़ा था और उसका
ये सब डिटेल तो मुझे नहीं मालूम है, लेकिन मैंने कह दिया कि एक निरपराध आदमी की हत्या पुलिस वाले ने की, ये इन्वेस्टिगेशन में सामने आया है। ये बहुत शर्मिंदगी की बात है।
उसमें पॉलिटिशियन भी
लेकिन साफ जाहिर है उसमें इन्वॉल्व है। अब इसमें पूछने की क्या बात है, वहीं से तो शुरुआत हुई। आप मतलब मैं तो सोच नहीं सकता हूं कि 100 करोड़ पर मंथ की रिकवरी, इससे बड़ी तो कोई इंडस्ट्री नहीं हो सकती है। सारी इंडस्ट्री बंद कर दीजिए, यही चालू कीजिए।
So no more questions gonna be entertained anymore. We'd like to hear you.
So please,
I'm a late.
this I can only apologize on behalf of the whole police force of Bombay City. I was a very proud police officer of Bombay. I worked here as a deputy commissioner, as joint commissioner, as police commissioner, and I think there is no police force better than Bombay Police. I can say even today, barring few exceptions where people take to crime. I am very proud even today. It's a phenomenal track record. लेकिन इस तरह की चीजें होती हैं जब politics gets involved in the police and law enforcement, then the people suffer, and this is what happened. So that is why there is a demand from the police, always, it is an old demand, that the police should be taken out of the political control. A police reform, it's an important aspect of the police reform. You control the police in the matter of other matters, but in the operational matters, police should have nothing to do with politicians. There is a law, there is a court. If a police has acted wrongly, court will haul him up, court will ask questions, media is there. But अगर पुलिस वाले पॉलिटिशियंस के उसमें रख के काम करें तो यही होगा, 100 करोड़ की वसूली करो। आई डोंट नो कहां तक सही है कहां तक गलत है। आप लोगों ने जो रिपोर्ट किया मैंने वही पढ़ा है, लेकिन अगर उसका 10% भी सही है तो बहुत बड़ी बात है। ये तो आई मीन महाराष्ट्र में ऐसी चीज होगी ये मैंने कभी सोचा भी नहीं था। महाराष्ट्र इज ए वेरी गुड स्टेट दैट वे कंपेयर टू मेनी अदर स्टेट्स।
Sir, the question is to the author,
Yeah.
Jitendra Dixit. So Jitendra, this is the second book. First of all, congratulations.
No.
This year.
This year?
I know. This year, this is the second book. So I just wanted to ask one question, that how do you manage your energy meter? What is the secret of your energy meter? That's one. And what is the next one like?
So next one I'm not going to reveal now, but surely you will be here whenever that book will get released. And about the energy level, so I have got addicted to writing, so I can't sleep until unless I write a couple of 100 words. And that's the thing. And for me, journalism is writing books is part of. I consider it part of my journalism. It's an extension of my journalism, like can say it's the long form of journalism because I mostly write on non-fiction subjects. Mostly I choose to write non-fiction.
So adding to this only that you have like now you've been heading an entire team of Maharashtra and all that. How do you see the budding journalists, because it's like lot of haywire things are there, digital things are there. So I admire that the kind of the career you have. In that career you have been able to manage. What about the people who are coming new entrants? What do you advise them to write on small something, maybe blogs or something? How do you see them imparting your expertise?
I think Santoshi, we can have a discussion on this, but let's just speak of it.
Yeah.
I can say that he loves his job. He enjoys his job.
Yeah, sure.
If you enjoy your job, nothing is difficult. I enjoyed my job as a policeman, and I tell you, nothing like a police job. But most of you will not agree with me.
No, I would agree. I would agree that. My father was in police department. I would definitely agree with that. But the one thing which you said, then again the conversation will go on. But police and politics will remain like a चोली दामन टाइप्स ऐसे बन ही नहीं सकता ना. इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए भी सारी चीजें
पुलिस और पॉलिटिशियंस मीडिया का ये चोली दामन का रिश्ता है, ये जाने वाला नहीं है. But the police leadership has to be strong and has to manage. And politicians also, at least in Maharashtra, I know, they respect a professional police officer. ऐसा नहीं है यहाँ सब कुछ गलत ही है. Maharashtra leadership has been very good and very positive. बीच में there are one or two bad examples हो जाते हैं. But that apart, by and large, I think Maharashtra government is very strong. Politicians are not different from what you see in North India. But the police leadership, the right man should be placed in the police chair, and he should be a professional man. If you bring a fellow who is there only to be a yes man, then I suppose that should be the end. 6 o'clock is good. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Singh sir, for being so transparent, so candid, and giving on-the-spot reactions and your suggestions and feedback. You gave us a glimpse of what Bombay after Ayodhya has been and what was your role as far as the city's law and order was concerned. Now I would like to invite Rajiv Khandekar ji to share his views. Rajiv ji has seen Jitendra grow as a journalist and as an author.
Good evening, and at the beginning I should confess that Jitu has caught me off guard, because in his invitation card he has mentioned that he author in conversation with Devendra and me and so Singh sir, and so it was supposed, I think I was under the impression he will ask questions and we will answer. But after hearing MN Singh sir, I think all of us would actually like to ask more questions to you. Everybody was actually eager to ask questions to you, because you rarely participate in these kind of programs. You don't participate in TV interviews, debates. So मिल गई है, चांस मिला है तो उनको ही पूछना चाहिए एक्चुअली. तो अगर आप अगर वो करना है तो मैं 2 मिनट में, क्योंकि 6 बजे तक खत्म करना था, तो लेकिन मैं ये कहूँगा कि this book Jitu has written, Bombay after Ayodhya. So whoever is coming to Mumbai and who is interested in knowing Mumbai for last 30 years, if he goes through this book, he will come to know whatever has happened to this city in these 30 years. हर वो चीज इसमें जितेंद्र ने उसका परामर्श लिया है, जो पिछले छोटी मोटी और बहुत सारे उसमें खुलासे भी है कि वाई प्रवीण महाजन किल्ड प्रमोद महाजन। तो उसके बारे में बहुत सारे तर्क है, लेकिन जिसने इन्वेस्टिगेट किया था उस मैटर को, उसके बारे में क्या कहना था वो इस बुक में है। और भी ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, अगर मैं इस तरह से ब्रेकिंग न्यूज देता रहूं तो बहुत सारे, मतलब उसका फायदा भी होगा बुक के लिए, लेकिन ऐसे बहुत सारे खुलासे उसमें है। सिंह साहब ने अभी जो कहा कि रिलेशन नेक्सस बिटवीन पॉलिटिशियंस एंड अंडरवर्ल्ड और गुंडाज, आई रिमेम्बर वन इंसिडेंट, a friend of mine who was a police inspector, and once I went to him, और मैंने उसको पूछ लिया कि अरे in the earlier days I remember there were pictures hanging on the wall, जो गुंडे हुआ करते थे तो उनके प्रोफाइल पिक्चर्स रहते थे पुलिस स्टेशन में, एंड आज अरे ये तो आज दिख नहीं रहे हैं, तो क्या बंद हुआ, क्या हुआ? तो उसने कहा कि अब उसकी जरूरत नहीं है, सारे जो है ना गुंडे वो होर्डिंग्स पे दिखते हैं। So now there is no need to hang their profile picture. तो ये जमाना वो है। आपने तो किसी को एमएलए होते हुए देखा, लेकिन मतलब बाद में आपके जो पुलिस में आ गए या जो थे उनको तो सिर्फ एमएलए नहीं, मंत्री और कुछ होते हुए भी उन्होंने देखा है। जिसको टायर में डाल के 3rd डिग्री दिया था उसको बाद में पुलिस स्टेशन में वेलकम करने की नौबत, आप नसीब वाले थे सर कि आप पे वो नौबत नहीं आई। लेकिन मैं ये कहूंगा कि मतलब मुंबई तो बदल गई इन द लास्ट 30 इयर्स, और उससे भी मैं ज्यादा ये कहूंगा कि पिछले 20 साल में, मतलब आई रिमेम्बर व्हेन आई केम टू मुंबई फ्रॉम दिल्ली इन 2000, जब मैं यहाँ बीटी से जाता था थाने, तो घाटकोपर में लोग जो बैठे हुए हैं वो सीट देते थे जो खड़े हैं उनको। लोग आज मतलब अगर मैं बताऊं कि लोग मुंबई के लेन में गाड़ी चलाते थे और लेन कटिंग का चार्ज होता था, उसके लिए फाइन हुआ करता था। तो वो मुंबई ऐसे आंखों के सामने जैसे उड़ गई, वो जो मुंबई थी, वो जो मुंबई का मतलब बम्बईया जो अप्रोच था वो गायब हो गया। और उसके देयर आर वेरियस रीजंस, एंड एज यू सेड करेक्टली, मतलब सोसाइटी शुड फाइंड आउट कि व्हाई दिस हैज हैपेंड टू दिस माया नगरी। और मुंबई का मतलब शुरू से अगर हम फिल्में भी देखें तो 60s में फिल्में दो एक के बाद एक आई थी। एक थी बम्बई का बाबू और दूसरी थी दिल्ली का ठग। तो ये जो कल्चरल डिफरेंस था, अब ऐसा है कि मतलब अगर यहाँ भी कोई बनाना चाहे फिल्म तो वो मुंबई का ठग ही बनेगी, अब वो रहा नहीं जमाना। तो बहुत सारे चेंजेस मुंबई में आ गए, सोसाइटी बदल गई, और सिर्फ मुंबई क्या पूरे देश के अगर हम आज स्थिति देखें तो यही है कि जो 10 साल 20 साल का जो समाज था वो समाज नहीं रहा, आपसी रिश्ते नहीं रहे। सारा समाज जो है वो अब जो घेटोज में रहने लगा है। जितेंद्र ने इसमें जो शुरुआती मतलब फ्रॉम द एज ऑफ 10 ही इज ऑन द स्ट्रीट्स विटनेसिंग ब्लडशेड, और वो जो इक्का दुक्का हुआ करता था आज मतलब उस वक्त कहीं ऐसे वारदात होते थे तो एक इनसिक्योरिटी का फीलिंग आता था। आज यहाँ बैठे हुए हर एक के मन में वो इनसिक्योरिटी की फीलिंग है, और जो नेक्सस बन गया है ब्यूरोक्रेसी से भी ज्यादा पॉलिटिशियंस, अंडरवर्ल्ड, पुलिस, मीडिया। अब हम लोग वाजे की बात करते हैं लेकिन मीडिया भी उससे बहुत दूर नहीं है। मतलब जो पिछले कुछ दिनों में इंसिडेंसेस आए हैं सामने कि मीडिया का भी रोल किस तरह से जर्नलिस्ट को भी यूज किया जाता है, जर्नलिस्ट भी खुद को यूज करने के लिए मतलब खुशी खुशी तैयार होते हैं, और एक ब्रेकिंग न्यूज के लिए क्या करते हैं ये अब सबके सामने है। मुझे लगता है कि मतलब समाज को हर चीज के बारे में सोचना चाहिए कि ये ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है और हम लोग ये मतलब इसका आखिरी कहाँ तक जाके ये रुकने वाला है। जितेंद्र की जो मुंबई है, जो इस बुक में उसने लिखी है, मुझे मतलब आई रिमेम्बर शांतारामा बुक रिटन बाय ग्रेगरी डेविड रॉबर्ट्स। तो उसने अपनी जो मुंबई की तो वो एक टूरिज्म के लिए मतलब आई नो पीपल कमिंग फ्रॉम वेरियस पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड कमिंग टू मुंबई एंड टू go through the experiences which he has narrated in his book। तो जितेंद्र को भी आगे इस तरह का कि एक जितेंद्र की मुंबई देखने का एक कुछ तो प्रोग्राम बन सकता है एंड पीपल विल लव टू कम अलोंग विथ यू एंड विटनेस एंड वॉच दोज प्लेसेस और कहाँ क्या हुआ था, कैसे हुआ था। और लोगों में इसमें भी बड़ा मजा है। मतलब रिसेंटली आई रेड समवेयर कि अफगानिस्तान में टूरिज्म अब बढ़ने लगा है एंड मोस्टली जापानीज पीपल गो देयर। और वो जो वहां पे कहाँ बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट हो गए, कहाँ क्या हो गया, वो वॉल सिटी का टूर। तो टूरिज्म मिनिस्टर ऑफ अफगानिस्तान, आई रेड हिज कोट, ही वाज सेइंग दैट नाउ मतलब दिस ईयर आवर टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री हैज डबल्ड इफ वी कंपेयर इट टू लास्ट ईयर। तो उसमें आगे उसने कहा था कि लास्ट ईयर some 300 people had come and this year that number has crossed 700। तो मतलब people are going there to see the ruins and whatever has happened there। तो जीतू भी ये कर सकता है अपने मुंबई के बारे में। हाँ कि यहाँ बाबू रेशिम को मारा, यहाँ पे ये हुआ, यहाँ मना सुरवे को यहाँ एनकाउंटर हुआ। तो अब ना मैं ये तो नहीं कह सकता उसके जितेंद्र का एनर्जी और उसका बुक लिखने का जो स्पीड है वो तो मतलब अवाक कर देता है कि कैसे करता है। लेकिन आई नो कि वो ट्रेन में बैठ के मोबाइल पे किताबें लिखता है और उसका जो स्पीड है वो काबिले तारीफ है। और दूसरी बात ये कि ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ बुक लिखता है, काम भी करता है। और वो मतलब ही इज वन ऑफ दोज फॉर्चुनेट जर्नलिस्ट आई मस्ट से कि जिसने मतलब जहां भी कुछ बड़ी घटना हुई है या होती है, he has fortune to go there and ग्राउंड से उसको कवर करने का एक्सपीरियंस और वो मौका जितेंद्र को मिला है। और उसने बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से उसको उपयोग में लाया है। और मुझे हमेशा ऐसा लगता है कि मतलब हमारे में कंटेम्पररी हिस्ट्री लिखने की लोगों को आदत है नहीं। एक्चुअली दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि आज नहीं 100 साल के बाद भी ये चीजें बहुत काम की होती है। आई रेड समवेयर 1680 वगैरह की मतलब पेरिस में एक डायरी मिली और वो 1680 के एक जो धोबी होता है उसकी थी। और उसमें उसने जो मतलब उसके डायरी में क्या होगा, उसमें तो अपना रोज की जिंदगी की जो चीजें हैं वो लिखी थी, लेकिन उससे उस वक्त के समाज के ऊपर जो उस समाज के बारे में जो चीजें पता चली वो अदरवाइज तब तक अवेलेबल नहीं थी। तो कंटेम्पररी हिस्ट्री लिखना जो मतलब जो होता है उसके बारे में खास करके जर्नलिस्टों ने तो ये करना बहुत ही जरूरी है। उसके लिए मेहनत तो लगती है, लेकिन एक डिसिप्लिन भी जरूरी होता है। जितेंद्र में वो बहुत मतलब खचाखच भरा हुआ है, तो इसलिए इस साल में 2 आ गई। आई विल नॉट बी सरप्राइज कि 2023 में 23 है इसलिए 3 आएगी। तो आई विश यू गुड लक, ऑल द बेस्ट एंड थैंक यू जी।
Thank you so very much, Rajiv ji, for sharing your views with us. Now with this we have come to the end of the event, and before this Sahil Joshi from Aaj Tak is supposed to say a few words. Yeah, please Sahil.
थोड़ा सा अनप्लान्ड हो गया ये. I just wanted to add to what राजीव खांडेकर had said, because मुझे पता है कि कितना डिफिकल्ट होता है कि समय निकाल कर कुछ लिखना, और मैं इसीलिए जितेंद्र दीक्षित को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूँ, क्योंकि ये बहुत ही ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट काम है. आई कैन वाउच फॉर इट. जैसे जैसे आप फील्ड से ऊपर जाने लगते हो, तब वैसे वैसे आप पर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव और बाकी सारे चीजों की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आना पर शुरू हो जाता है, और उसके बाद उसमें से समय निकालकर शांति से ट्रेन में लिखना तो इम्पॉसिबल ही है, लेकिन फिर भी वो टाइम निकालकर लिखना इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. तो हम सबकी तरफ से एक्चुअली बहुत बहुत बधाई जितेंद्र की. ये तुमने लिखा, और जो जितेंद्र ने देखा वो हम सब ने देखा है कहीं ना कहीं, लेकिन जैसे उसकी पहले की किताब है 26/11 पर उसने किताब लिखी थी, हम सब लोग साथ में थे, लेकिन बुक लिखने का अगर किसी ने काम किया तो वो दीक्षित ने किया. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो काम नहीं कर रहा था उधर, लेकिन फिर भी उसने सोचा कि मुझे बुक लिखना चाहिए. उसके बाद 2019 में जो महाराष्ट्र में हुआ वो हम सब लोग कवर कर रहे थे, लेकिन फिर भी अगर किसी ने उस पर किताब लिखी तो वो दीक्षित ने लिखी. और आज जो किताब उसने लिखी है, जो हम लोग आज पब्लिश कर रहे हैं, बॉम्बे आफ्टर अयोध्या, वो जो चीजें उसने जी है वो हमने भी जी हुई है. आई डिड नॉट ग्रो अप इन Maikala and Nakpara, all that area. I grew up somewhere else in Bombay, but मैंने भी वही चीजें देखी हुई है, लेकिन फिर भी वो चीजें सोचना और लिखना ये आसान बात नहीं है. उसके लिए हमको कई बार अलग तरीके से सोचना पड़ता है, एक डिसिप्लिन तैयार करना पड़ता है जो उसने अपने आप तैयार किया हुआ है. पुलिसिंग हो, जर्नलिज्म हो, या इवन पॉलिटिक्स में भी वो डिसिप्लिन नहीं हो तो आप बहुत सारी चीजें मिस कर देते हैं. लगता है कि हम लोग में से कई लोगों ने वो जो बुक राइटिंग है वो मिस किया हुआ है. थोड़ा बहुत डिसिप्लिन हमको भी लाना पड़ेगा. लेकिन बहुत बहुत बधाई जितेंद्र. और सर, आपको सुनने में हमेशा मजा आता है एक्चुअली. बहुत सारे सवाल थे, आपसे अलग से एक बार मुलाकात होनी चाहिए, ये सारे सवालों पर अलग से बातचीत होनी चाहिए. तो उनका भी, आपका भी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया कि आप इस बहाने क्यों ना हो, लेकिन एक बार फिर आए. और जब एक्चुअली अभी हम लोग अंदर बैठे थे तो हमने तो मेरा कहने का मतलब ये, तो इसलिए मैंने सोचा कि एक बधाई देनी चाहिए जितेंद्र दीक्षित को. और ये टॉपिक बहुत ही हम सबके लिए बहुत क्लोज है, क्योंकि हम सब लोग मुंबई में काम करते हैं. हमारा मुंबई जर्नलिस्टिक फैटर्निटी है, और हम लोग ने ये सारी चीजें बहुत नजदीक से देखी हुई है. 93 कवर नहीं किया भी होगा, क्योंकि हम तब बच्चे थे. बहुत सारे लोग हम में से स्कूल में होंगे, लेकिन हमने वो सारी चीजें नजदीक से देखी हुई है. और वो सारी चीजें पेपर पे उतारना, उसको बुक के फॉर्मेट में लाना, उसके बाद जो बदलाव होते हुए बहुत सारी चीजें मुझे लगता है कि मिस हुई इस कॉन्वर्सेशन में, लेकिन आई एम श्योर कि वो किताब में होंगी. तो इसके लिए, ये सारी चीजों के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया दीक्षित. आज हम सबको यहाँ पर उस बहाने बुलाया और हम सब मिले, इसके लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
अब लग रहा है साहिल की बुक आने वाली है अगले साल. ये बहुत ज्यादा ओवर इंस्पायर्ड होकर यहाँ से जा रहे हैं. हम मिलकर लिखेंगे इन कोलैबोरेशन. प्लीज मुझे भी हिस्सा बना लीजिएगा. Yes. So thank you so very much, everyone. Now with this, we have come to the end of the event, and before we wrap up this event, I would like to say a few words that were not given to me. So I've written for Jitendra. Just quickly. Jitendra, your enthusiasm for the work inspires me to be very enthusiastic too. I have seen you growing over the years with the same rather huge energy levels. कोरोना में लोग बीमार होकर अस्पताल जाके टेंशन में आ जाते हैं, और ये किताब तब से लिखते आ रहे हैं. हॉस्पिटल के अंदर ट्रीटमेंट हो रहा है और ये बुक लिखते हैं. So you keep this positive attitude in most challenging situation always. Your writing always makes me want to become a writer too. मैं भी सोच रही किताब लिख दूं मैं भी. We are so proud of you, Jitendra. Well, when is your next book coming? Any hint? Good luck and stay blessed.
Not so soon.
Okay. So I would like to thank all the dignitaries on behalf of publisher HarperCollins and author Jitendra Dixit. I thank you all for being part of the book launch. Please join us for tea and refreshments. Copies of Bombay After Ayodhya are available at a discounted price outside the conference hall. Author Jitendra Dixit will be available here to sign the copies. Thank you, everyone.
ABP माझा, उघडा डोळे बघा नीट.